Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this first Saturday of the month, August, and which means we have the Brother Darrell and Darrell show. We got
the Old Time Radio Show.
Old Time Radio Show, and the Old Time Radio Show are neither one here. One's at his house. That's the old time man himself, Gene Smith, and the other one is in Sparta, Illinois, shooting at the Grand American Trap Shooting Championships. And that's our guy, Dave Gabbert. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we're gonna squeeze Dave in on this segment, and then another one later down because he's still up there shooting. And what's the temperature been up there, Dave?
Well, the temperature has been it's been in the 90s, but the heat index is way up, 115, 116.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to cool down a little bit, but that's always people ask me, when they'd always ask me, is it hot enough for you? And I say, well, it'll do till August gets here. Well, August is here.
August is here, and I know we all grew up without knowing the heat index. We just knew it was going to be hot. And
exactly.
July and August and even September will be that. But we're going to keep Dave in it for this opening segment, and Gene will be with him for the show, so he'll do some puns, and then we got a whole section coming up after the first hour of the show. Get ready for it because we're going to do some small talk, I'm calling it, and Dave will come back and join us, and he'll have time to catch his breath a little bit and actually express to us, kind of give us an overview of what it's like to compete with how many shooters, Dave, you think?
Oh, we're in the first phase of it. We call it the preliminary days.
Okay.
And where people are coming in and kind of warming up.
Warming up, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and getting any, if they're lacking a few targets, to qualify so they don't have to shoot penalty because the championship week doesn't start till Monday. Championship event.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
And
you've been up there since when? Wednesday, Tuesday? How long you been?
I've been up there since last Monday. I came up.
He's been up there already, folks. This is Saturday, so he's been up there for a week, and we won't get to the real stuff till Monday.
Started shooting Wednesday.
Okay, started shooting Wednesday. So we're going to talk to Dave when he can come back, if he can catch his breath and things along that line, and then we'll talk to Gene with some puns. But let me tell you what we got on the show today. This is first Saturday, as I said, which means Dave and Gene are with me. Shelby McCall is taking care of us in the studio, and it's warm, folks. We're supposed to get a little break in humidity this weekend, I'll believe it, but this heat index stuff, none of us three, I know, grew up knowing what heat index was. They didn't have to tell us that. I mean, we knew it was going to be hot in July and August and a lot of September. So that's
they say it's 100 degrees, but it feels like 110. I said, how do you go along with that?
I don't want to know that, Dave. I don't know about you.
No. We just went to the swimming hole or got the garden hose out.
Well,
there you go.
My wife has been at the garden this week picking stuff, and she overdid it on Thursday, I think. That's why she had a little spell there. But we never knew what the wind chill was either. We knew it was cold.
Yeah.
I think this is a conspiracy. You listeners out there, you can let me know, lroutdoors@att.net. But I think it's for the weathermen to have something to talk about rather than just saying it's hot.
Exactly.
I know the Weather Bureau puts out excessive heat warnings, then excessive heat advisories, and all this kind of stuff. But folks, we all grew up in this area. I've been in Memphis since 1967, and I know Dave went to high school there. Gene's been here forever. He and Elvis were buddies and all that kind of stuff. So at Humes, so I know that heat indexes and wind chills. Okay, I've done my
There you go.
friend.
I know. We can talk about that forever.
Yeah. So anyway, today's show, Ricky Dukes is going to join us. He is the Vice President of Marketing for Smith Products. You folks know Smith Products. They have been in the business of making knives and sharpeners, and so expanded so much in over 140 years. And we'll talk to. In fact, let's see when it was. What was it? 1886. This company started.
Wow.
James Archer Smith came out with that. So we're going to talk to Ricky. Then we're going to Arab, Alabama, one of my favorite places to talk frog togs. And here's a company, y'all, that started out about 25 years ago with 5 people and about a handful of products. And we all know what frog togs has meant to the rain gear market. But we're going to talk to Will Fowler. He's the president of Frog Togs, about all the new products they have. And then the big events coming up in September. In fact, there's some events going to be coming this month for the River Fest and the Catfish Derby over in Savannah, Tennessee. And we're going to talk to a man. I don't think I've ever had anybody on the show whose first name is Timbo. I've had Timbuktu, but not Timbo. But Timbo White will join us to talk about the River Fest and the Catfish Derby, which is really coming along, and we'll talk about that. Then what I'm calling small talk with Dave and Gene and me, and we'll do some puns in there. Then we'll get a recap from Dave if he's able, if he's still vertical, at the top of the hour, when we can come back in here after an hour of what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. And we'll close out today's show from a place, y'all, that in the July and August, it's the place to go, because when you fish on the White River at Gaston's Resort, the water temperature is going to be 50 degrees. And if you want to cool off on a 100-degree day, put your toe in that water. So we're going to talk to Jake Hanson. He's the general manager for Gaston's White River Resort in the final segment of today's show. And then we're coming up, folks. We're coming up on the 24th anniversary of Outdoors with Larry Ray. And
boy.
That's hard to believe, isn't it, Gene Smith?
Isn't that something? Wow.
Gene was there when it started. And Dave, I've been trying to figure out, how long Dave's. I know you've been with us 15 years. So I don't know.
I've been with you. What year did you start?
2000. Yeah. So it's coming
Okay.
up. It's coming up on year 24, and I know Mr. Ronnie Shannon was there with Gene when we started, but you kind of snuck in there probably about 5 or 6 years after that and been with us ever since.
Yeah, I think it's about
15, 20 years. I know that. You got to be with us.
22 years, I think, because
Yeah.
when we started sponsoring your radio show.
That's right. And we were in the dungeon at 495. What was it? 1960 Union Avenue. And now we're out here in the Odyssey family of stations and nice area on Mount Moriah. But anyway, let me get a swig of something here. Hold on. Oh yeah, that tastes good. Don't worry, folks. It's just a little water. I've got that to help my voice, and I know that the show anniversary show is coming up soon, but I really want to tease you about next week's show also, folks. The Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame meeting. They're going to induct 8 new members on August the 17th in Springfield, Missouri. And next week's show will be completely devoted to that event. And right now I'm planning for our anniversary show to be the next Saturday after that, the third Saturday after that. And we'll probably get Dave back on the phone, Gene back on the phone, and talk about some of their stories over the years doing this radio show for so many years. But next week's show, we're going to have Bill Jordan and his son Tyler from Realtree. We're going to have the great Will Primos. Everybody knows Will Primos from Primos Hunting. Bobby Hart. And, of course, we're going to have Cuz Strickland also with Gary Mason and maybe some surprise guests on next week's show. But we'll talk more about that later on today. But I know one thing for a fact is that Gene has always got a pun. And Gene is I think we're the only outdoor radio show that not only has a pun master, we got a trumpet player in here.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, when Frank and John are in the studio, Shelby, remember that. We're going to need you, okay? It'll be trumpet time as we celebrate. Who knows? Mary might make something for us, almost some cookies or something along that line. But I need a pun right now, Gene, so I can take a swig of this water in my Bubba keg.
All right. Well, Mr. Potato was sitting in the den one day, and little Miss Sweet Potato, her daughter, announced that she's going to get engaged.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, I'm so excited." Well, who is it? She said, "Dan Rather." She said, "Oh no, he's a commentator."
Okay. Did you hear that, Dave? Have you been out in the sun too much? Have you been out in the sun too much? Oh, a commentator. Yeah, okay.
That's right.
And Dan Rather is still living. It's hard to
Yes,
believe.
he is. Yeah.
He's about 90-something, but he's still on the air like that, a commentator. Okay, he must be from Iowa. I mean, no, that's from Idaho. Idaho, the potato people.
Got your eyes mixed up.
I got my eyes mixed up, which is very easy to do when we're talking about this. But I know, Dave, with this big event up there, we'll talk a little bit more about you. Give us kind of a quick synopsis of what goes on up in Sparta, Illinois.
Oh, it becomes the population of Sparta probably double, at this time, because with everybody coming in, this facility here has, several thousand camping spots.
Wow.
That where we camp, and plus all the, that's most of the time a lot of the competitors, they have to go. Sparta's located maybe 45 miles southeast of the St. Louis area, and they'll have to go all the way to St. Louis to find rooms.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's a big event, and you've been going up there. How many years you been going, Dave?
I started going to the Grand in 1987.
Wow. So I'm assuming, and we'll talk more about this later in the show, that it's almost a reunion, isn't it? I mean, for you guys.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's fun to come up and compete, but I come up, to see all the guys that I've shot with over the years, and
yeah.
Back in the days where I said I could shoot, it's like Andy Warhol said, I've had my 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
And
well, have you seen our man Jeff Milan from 80 Below? Have you got to see Jeff?
No, I shot one of the banks I shoot on is out in front of where he's set up, but I was I hadn't seen him yet. I hadn't been down that way when he's been open.
All right, we'll say hello to him. Well, let's take our first break of the morning. We'll come back and talk. It's going to be a sharp discussion here about knives. We'll be right back.
You need a Band-Aid?
I may need 3. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday morning, on this first Saturday in August, with Gene Smith on the other line, and Dave Gabbert will rejoin us later in the show as he's up in Sparta, Illinois, at the Grand American Trap Shooting Championships, and we'll talk to Dave a little bit later. But I know that this segment, I wanted to, in 2 weeks we're going to be celebrating 24 years on Outdoors with Larry Ray. That's a long time. It's a lot of shows. I think I missed one. Even when I had cancer, I think I only missed one during that week, and we've been able to do it thanks to show producers like Shelby McCall, and Gene Smith was in there for the first one. And, Gene, I didn't know if we were going to make it for 2 weeks, much less 24. But
I know, it's remarkable.
It is. And but one of our longtime supporters of this radio show, every time I've asked for something or whatever I might need, I can go to Dina Vick, and then she's going to put me right in touch with Ricky Dukes, and we're going to talk Smith products on this morning's show, because we got Ricky Dukes right out of Knoxville, Tennessee. He is the VP of Marketing for our good friends at Smith Consumer Products. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning.
Thanks.
Larry, Gene, how are you?
All right. Thanks for joining us, man. I know for the first time that I can remember, my man Wong did not make it to ICAST, and he'd like to kill him, I know. But I know you guys were there. Give us a synopsis on what's going on at Smith.
Well, we've once again at ICAST, we launched some great new items.
Yes.
Focus on some fishing items again this year. We have some saltwater dehookers.
I saw that. Yeah.
A very innovative, at least we feel it is, a patent pending venting tool used for those deep drop fishermen. When you get whenever you may get a grouper or what have you that gets the bear trauma and that maybe they're out of the slot or not the right size and you need to return them so you can return that fish healthy and then catch him next time. So we're excited. A lot of great reviews on that item, a lot of excitement around it. So we're looking forward to a great year with those items.
And Ricky, I know you've been with the company for a while, and of course, there's so much history in this company. When I say 24 years on the air, people say, "Wow, that's a long time." But when I look at 1886, James Archer Smith, that's where the story started, right, Ricky? I mean,
that's correct, Mr. Archer. Mr. Smith, he, he was selling rocks back in those days.
He was,
literally.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Arkansas stone, and then the companies just continue to grow over the years and innovate into exciting products, and had a great legacy, great foundation that we still want to keep alive today and continue to build on. So,
how many products, Ricky, do you think?
We just checked actually yesterday.
All right.
This morning.
Uh-huh.
We're up to about 270.
Good.
Active selling items.
270. Yeah. You've made your names, of course, with sharpening, razor stone, and all these different kind of things. And you have made things every year. You seem to expand on this thing, but your roots are still where it's always been, hasn't it, Ricky? I mean, when I look at the company,
it is. And along with those dehookers, we did release a new sharpener.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Market.
Yeah,
it has a release tool on it, so if you get you catch a fish and you're hooked in and need to release yourself, or before he pulls you in, you can cut that line, and has a large hook file on the bottom, diamond hook file. So we'll just continue to build from our foundation and add products that complement those sharpeners.
I know you're vice president of marketing, but you have another title. Part of that is product development. Talk about what you do for Smith.
Like most companies today, you wear a lot of hats, but
you do, yeah.
This product idea for the venting tool came from a fishing trip, and really, I tried to put on my product development hat and just observe how the professionals use their tools, or maybe what tools they don't have, and that's how we came up with that idea. It's two tools today, and they had one tool, but they were always looking for the other tool. So,
so this was on a fishing trip. Would you stop and write it down? I mean, I always when I would write a story for whether it's a magazine, a commercial appeal, or anything like that, and I saw an idea, I'd write a little note. My wife said I was always writing notes. So product development for you guys. You're on a fishing trip. How long ago was that? How long does it take to get that product on the market like that?
That was, Larry, that was right at a year. We came back from that trip and we started on it right away.
Really?
We had prototypes within 2 months.
Wow.
We sent it to the team that we fished with for feedback.
Yeah.
Some changes because, it needed some tweaking, and then we started building tooling right away, and we launched it this year. So it's been just over a year, really.
Well, I'm going to tell people right now that they know I'm a Smith consumer products guy here in Memphis, and I know you guys make the best, and my wife will vouch for this, Ricky. Those steak knives that you make, you may think a lot of folks are out there just sharpening their little pocket knives and things along that line, but folks, Smith makes some of the best steak knives. I'm talking about carving knives. Those, I mean, whether you get the 7 set, I think there's 7 in one of them, and I think there's maybe 12 in the other. I'm not really for sure, but the remarkability there is that when you put it out there, I'm assuming somebody else, even the handles. I mean, you guys, this is not something that you make overnight. So talk about some of those kind of products for the kitchen lady out there listening this morning.
Yeah, so that product is called our Cabin and Lodge series.
Yes.
It comes with it has a hammered finish on the blade. Stainless steel product, very reliable, holds a great edge.
Yeah.
It has a stag handle on it, nice wooden block.
Yes.
So it's a great item. The block itself has your traditional chef's blades in it, a 6-inch or 8-inch chef knife. It also has a cleaver.
It does.
And then it has a couple of boning knives. So we really wanted to, keep the outdoors person in mind when we created that block, and put them design and add the products that they need for that knife block. Not, a lot of deer hunters don't need a sushi knife. So
no,
we left
we
that
don't.
out.
That's right. Yeah.
So we put a cleaver in and a couple of boning knives instead. So.
Well, I'm just telling you, folks, and you sent us one. We gave one away. I can't tell you. My wife tried it out first, and they said, "Can I?" I don't know if she was eligible to get that because that's been one of the best gifts that Outdoors of Larry Ray has given out over these many, many years. Was that set, and I was stunned when I got that in the mail from you and Dina. But again, we're talking to Ricky Dukes, VP for marketing and product development for our good friends at Smith's Consumer Products. And think about this, Ricky. And how long have you been with the company now?
I've been with Smith's a little over 8 years.
I thought you had. What would you think that James Archer Smith would think about the company today? You've probably never been asked that, but I'm just saying, he looks like he was a pretty grisly person in that picture you guys run on your website. He looks like a mountain man to me. So what do you think he would feel like this?
Well, I never met him personally. I did.
I hope not. Yeah.
His grandson.
Did you?
Richard.
Really?
I think, yes. I think, I hope he would be proud of where we've taken the company, and we've tried to continue to the heritage and the quality that Smith's has always built into their items. So we hold that very dear to our hearts, the legacy there. So we continue to take pride in the products we produce and make sure that we keep our customers happy.
Well, I think in so many different products, and of course, being from Arkansas myself and knowing Hot Springs and knowing Arkansas Stone, we even got a Stone County in Arkansas, but it's not Hot Springs, I can tell you that. But you guys have been doing this for so long. Was ICAST any different this year? Was it? How did it go for you guys?
I think it was. I think attendance was up. I heard some numbers. Attendance was up. I think we had great traffic from retailers.
Yeah.
Across the country and across the world. Actually, we had a lot of international customers come through. I think they're excited about where the fishing industry's headed, and they're looking to buy and expand their stores and get new products in. So,
and you guys, I know you're one time I know you were in 40 countries or something along that line. It seemed like. I don't know where you can buy Smith Consumer Products right now, but you guys have branched out so much with what you do. So is the new products out now? Can we get them now?
They are on our website. They'll be in retail stores soon.
Okay.
But they are on our website, smithsproducts.com. You can check out all the new ICAST items there. And
great website, Great. It tells the whole story, folks. Yeah, the whole story. Smith, give them again that website, Ricky.
SmithsProducts.com.
That's it, folks. Just go with that. And you got a Facebook page. I know you're on social media too, right, Ricky?
That's right. Yes.
Well,
check us out in all those locations, and it'll lead you right back to our website. So if you have any questions, you can call us. Our phone numbers are on there. So reach out.
Well, I appreciate you, buddy, for what y'all have done for Outdoors of Larry Ray over the years. We'll stay in touch, and we're here to serve anytime you need us. Okay, man?
All right. Thanks a lot. Keep your wife happy, Larry.
Okay. Thank you, Ricky. All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors of Larry Ray. Be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good Saturday morning to all you folks right here in the Memphis area. AM 790, 92.9 HD FM from 9 to 10:30 every Saturday morning. And all you folks in Brownsville, Tennessee on 101.5 Jackson and 95.3 FM in Brownsville. So we're glad to have all you folks out in the neighborhood. Shelby McCall, of course, is our show producer, as she's been for over 5 years. And the man who's been here since we started this thing, and in 2 weeks it'll be 24 years, is Gene Smith, and he's on the line. Good morning again, Gene.
Good morning, good morning. It's hard to believe 24 years. Where has the time gone?
I don't know. It's gone. It's been good, though. And one of our featured guests, he just had to bring up and tell me how old I was by telling me that we're almost as long as he's worked for this company, we've been on the air. I think he's got me by a few, but he's one of our favorite guests when we get him on here, because we think we've been with Frog Talks for just about since they started, and so much has gone the good way with Frog Talks out of Arab, Alabama, and that's our good friend Will Fowler. He is the president of Frog Talks. He wasn't the president when he started, right, Will?
No, I was far from it, brother.
You were one of how many? 5? How many people did you have when you started?
Yeah, there was 5 there when I started in December '96. I was the 5th one.
My gosh, 5. And now, what are we talking about for Frog Talks?
Oh, about 80.
80. How many companies can say they've gone from 5 to 80, and you're still there? Will, you must like your job.
Well, they just won't let me go, man.
Because you guys have moved. You started out, and I think this is all the top of my head, which is really scary, Gene Smith, when I'm doing this. I think y'all were in an old doctor's office, if I remember right. I may be wrong on that. Is that right?
No, that's right. We had an old doctor's office that was converted to a small reception area and 4 offices, and we received and shipped product out of the basement of that building, and we'd get a box load of trucks on pallets, and they'd have to park in the bank parking lot next door, and we'd climb up in the truck and break the pallets down and carry the boxes into the basement individually. And we picked our product up from George Kapler up on top of the mountain in a pickup and a little single axle trailer.
Well, when I think of these things, and I can just, imagine what you've seen with the company in all these years. And I know rain gear, you guys were the invention of that. It all started on a fishing trip. I can remember all of that, and needing the rain gear. And you've come from that to now. How many products do you guys have now?
Well, I mean, Larry, just on the rainwear side, I think we probably make rain gear out of somewhere around 10 or 11 different fabrics.
Wow.
Fabric families, and you can buy a Frog Talks rain suit starting at a poncho for an emergency poncho that's less than $5 to a FTX Elite set that is the finest rain suit on the planet for mid-600s.
I tell you what, I was trapped. I got caught on real foot that year. I think that's 2-3 years ago, Will. I don't remember, but I had that rain gear on, and I am a walking testimony for Frog Talks. Everybody, I got my Frog Talks shoes on, folks, right now. I got another pair coming. I've worn these out. I got more shoes worn out than Ron Wong does, but I know part of this thing was, and you've expanded from that basement to now your facility. What are we looking at? 120,000? Is that right? I read somewhere.
Yeah, well, about 120,000 now, and we're in the middle of the process of building a 180,000 square foot freestanding warehouse facility across the street from the current facility.
Are you really? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Well, the amazing thing about Frog Togs is not only that the name was a perfect fit. Everybody knows what is that. You know, I had my Frog Togs something on my shoes and something else on when I went to vote Thursday. And listen to this, Will, and Gene, you might appreciate this. When I went to vote Thursday here, they said you got to have some kind of identification, Will. So I gave them something what I thought was my identification. It wasn't my driver's license. Guess what it was? It was my lifetime hunting license. This woman looked at me, and she looked at the other woman, and she says, "What is this? I don't know how to do this." And I looked at her and said, "Oh, man, that's my lifetime." She said, "Well, I guess I know what's more important for you, your driver's license, your hunting license." So, Will,
right.
When you get to be my position and everything, but personally, I want to really thank you, buddy. A Christian organization, your you guys have just done such a great job of PR and things along that line, and really helped this radio show in our 24 years being available, and always great to talk to you. But was there anything new at ICAST for you guys?
Yeah, we had a similar setup as last year. We were broken up, had an entire corner there, 4 20 by 20 booths, one for each segment.
That's come a long way too, right, Will? Your first ICAST?
It has. It has. We got a small village over there now at
That's
ICAST.
Right. Yeah.
We set it up. One's for tackle storage and tackle bags, and another's the waiter section. Then we got a footwear section and then the rainwear section, so we can break up the experts and the buyers, because a rainwear buyer doesn't give a rip about tackle storage and vice versa.
That's right.
So they just get their little section to go play in, But yeah, we introduced some new tackle storage solutions, lots of new shoes.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Lots of new shoes and some really interesting ones coming down the pipe now.
Really? Okay, we got some more coming. All right. Even got into flip flops. I mean.
Oh yeah, we make a really strong. We got a really strong sandal game now, Larry.
You really do. I haven't had one of those, but it looks like I said, golly, they have come so far with a sandal division. And if I'm not mistaken, I know Gene Smith's listened to this, and I read somewhere, and you can tell me, Will, I read a lot. I check on a lot of things, but you gave away more than $1 million in free rain suits in the early days. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's scattered over. That's actually scattered over several different products.
I don't care. I mean,
over the years, we provided a lot of free rain gear over the years, and we provided a lot of free cooling towels to soldiers.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Both the Iran and Afghanistan conflicts.
And I know you've applied a lot. Of course, I wear my rain gear when I play golf or whatever it might be. They've got so many different ones out of this, but your shoe thing has been a bonanza to me. I mean, and you don't have to spend a lot of money, folks, to get some really comfortable slip-ons, whatever you want. I'm not sure what mine are. They're gray with big orange colors on them. I was hard to say that. If you had a red one in there,
you got the clipper. You got the slip-on clipper. That's a real lightweight, stretchy, real supportive mesh athletic shoe. We've got a lot of great options. The newest evolution is the Hydro Grip. We make a boat shoe.
Yeah.
We make a deck boot that fits like an athletic shoe. It's not a sloppy fit.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, and I told the guy, I said, hey, if we're going to build shoes, we got to build really, really good ones.
Yes.
Because I'm very particular about what I put on my feet.
Yeah.
And
you are. Yes, you are.
I am, and I may be biased, but I am very impressed with the items that the footwear division is putting out. And I'm telling you right now, if guys like to fish in flip-flops, or like to wear them casually, they're selling themselves short if they don't try some of the offerings we got, because I'm not a flip-flop guy, and I will tell you they are phenomenal.
Well, you also came out with it. I used a slip-on, like a hunting boot-like thing last year that I kind of wore them, and everybody was saying, man, you just slipped those on. I sure did. I did.
Yeah, that's
ankle
the Ridge
boot.
Buster.
The Ridge Buster, ankle boot-like thing. And I was able to get to my deer stand or whatever it might be. Again, we're talking to Will Fowler, our good friends with Frog Togs out of Arab, Alabama, right there close to Gunnersville, right, Will? I mean,
just right up the mountain from the lake there.
And you guys have really gone. Let's talk about that rain gear that we were talking about that the pros have. You've got a great pro staff that wear those things right now, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. We got a ton of great content creators and pros, and we want to make sure that when they're creating that content or they're trying to earn their living, fishing on the front deck of that bass boat or walleye boat or redfish boat or the deck of that saltwater, whatever they may be on, that we're providing the right gear for them. Not just something that they go, hey, I got to promote this because I'm associated with these guys. We don't want that. We want to make the best rain suit that somebody can get in, and I think we accomplished that with the FTX Elite. We've been through several iterations of high-end rain suits, but we've got a 20K water holdout, 20K MVTR breathable fabric that's got stretch.
Yes, yeah.
Man, they're lightweight. They will keep you dry for days at a time, not hours at a time.
Days at a time, and your
days at a time.
Your pros swear by them. I know a lot of your pros that do it because people don't realize that professional bass fishing. Gene, you know this, that how many hours are on that deck of that boat, all types of weather out there. How many times they cast, and if they're wearing a rain gear that doesn't keep them dry, and also binds them a lot. I noticed this the ones I've got it's almost like you're just wearing a shirt. It feels like it.
Oh yeah, that's the special thing about rainwear is that a lot of people go, hey, we're just going to go build this out of waterproof fabric, and that's great, that's cool. But man, those seams have got to be in the right places. It's got to be the right cut. It's got to be articulated properly, and that's more of an art than a science. It's not something. It's something you just have to learn over time and figure out. And we've been building rain suits for 28 years now.
Wow.
And I don't know anybody else that's been doing it that long. And I don't know anybody else that's doing it as well as we are.
Well, I know we got a couple of minutes here, so tell my listeners out there how they can get more information. You got a great website. Tell them how they can go get more information, Will.
Yeah, we'd love for them to go visit us at www.FROGGTOGGS.com, or give us a call and talk to one of those lovely customer service girls over there, or call and ask for marketing. One of those girls, they're really good-looking girls over there. I'm married to one of them.
You are married to one of them. That's right, yeah.
and they can call and talk to me if they want to, Larry.
Yeah, and they will. You recognize his voice there. He is Mr. Frog Togs, and of course, the name itself, we always talk about that. Will, thank you, buddy. As always, appreciate you having on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Thank you for your support over these many years. I am your Frog Togs man in Memphis, okay? All right?
Appreciate the opportunity. See you soon.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Gene Smith, you still there?
Yes, sir.
I thought you might be getting wet by now. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As again, we focused in 2 weeks on our 24th anniversary show. Good Saturday morning to everybody here in Memphis on AM 790, 92.9 HD-FM from 9 to 10:30. And, of course, in Brownsville from 6 to 7:30 on AM 1520, 95.3 FM. And in Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5 from 6:30 to 8. And if you're wondering how I can be at all three of them places, I'm not going to tell you, okay? But it's part of the show, and we've got a guest on with us now. A big event coming up in Savannah, one of my favorite places to visit. So many memories, a lot of them I can't repeat. But Riverfest is coming up over there in Savannah, and we've got a lot of information, the third annual Catfish Derby and Riverfest concert. And who better to talk about that than Timbo White? He is the chairman, promoter for Riverfest. Good Saturday morning, Timbo.
You too. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Let's talk here about this big event. You guys have incorporated not only the fishing, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, we're an outdoors fishing show, but you've also incorporated the historic downtown of Savannah. So talk about what's going to happen over there come September 13th through 15th.
Yeah, a good place to start with Riverfest, just to give a little history on it. It was created as a chamber leadership project. Our Chamber of Commerce does a leadership class that runs from like July to February. And the tourism director here, Miss Beth Pippin, our Catfish Derby has been going on for probably
a long time, buddy.
80-something years.
Yes,
I want to say it's 85 years for the Catfish Derby.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fishing tournaments that she's working with through tourism wanted some sort of like festival built around them. So our leadership class came up with the idea to do initially what was the Catfish Derby benefit concert series. We incorporated Daryl Worley in on that, native of Savannah.
That's right.
And he helped us get the concert scenario lined up. So we went big on festival, and that's grown from, I think, a 5-artist act in 2021
to
a three-day
3-day event.
12 act festival that incorporates our Catfish Derby. Our Catfish Derby pageants are on August 24th. They're a preliminary pageant for Miss Tennessee.
Yes, yeah.
We have a 5K run that's on August 31st. Our concert is September 13th through 15th. And then our actual Catfish Derby, which is now Bill Dance Outdoors
That's right, yeah.
concert tournament,
yeah,
will be October 12th this year.
A lot of things.
So a lot going on under the umbrella of Riverfest.
Yeah, and the thing I was really hit about this, of course, we know Daryl, and we may want to talk to Daryl down the road or something, but you've got the Riverfest with something going on Friday, the September the 13th, with a lot of acts, and you come right back on Tennessee Street Park for that one, and on the 14th you move to Main Street, more artists, so a lot of them I can't even had one time to give them out. And then on Sunday, September the 15th, back to Tennessee Street Park for a Riverfest Revelation, and which will bring in Hardin County's own Daryl Worley. And how about this, folks? Listen to this. Put this on your calendar. The Isaacs are going to be coming to Riverfest on that Sunday the 15th. And then you just roll into things here. Because this has been such a great event. And then the Derby, along with this, you've thrown in that, and dance has come aboard. This has got to be an exciting third year for you guys, right, Timbo?
It is. It grew, I will say, a lot faster than we thought it was going to in Savannah. But very proud of that. Very proud of the growth. It does great for us by way of tourism and economic development. It hits a lot of check marks for us here in Savannah.
Yes, it does. And bringing dance into that. Of course, we all know Bill here on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and having him put his name on that has got to be a special thing to have dance involved in this, right?
Very much so. I know I grew up watching Bill dance on TV.
Yes,
It was one of my dad's favorite things to do on Saturday and Sunday morning before church.
Yeah.
So it holds special meaning to me, especially to have him come into Savannah. I don't think that he's had any involvement other than fishing in tournaments in Savannah.
Well, he's been heavily involved in the Derby over these many, many years, and, of course, catfishing is one of his passions. whether it's on the Tennessee River, the Mississippi River, just any river. Bill likes to catfish. So give our audience out there, Timbo, a little bit of background on you. Are you from the area? What's your background?
I am from the area. I'm from a small community in Hardin County called Walnut Grove.
I know where that is. Okay, yeah.
30 minutes outside of Savannah and 30 minutes outside of Florence, Alabama.
That's right. Yeah.
Right on the land portion of the Dry Creek area of the lake.
And so you've been involved with this all 3 years, or?
So I was an initial member of the leadership class that started Riverfest.
Yeah.
At the time, I'm actually a paramedic by trade. I worked at the ambulance service here in Savannah. 23 years I was there before moving over into the position I'm at the city back in October.
Good for you, man. We appreciate your service, and 23 years is time to move over. I mean, your job.
I bet he remembers Carol Talley, doesn't he?
I don't know if he remembered Kyle Talley or not, but
Carol Talley,
yes.
He was a TWRA agent
That's
for
right.
us here for many years.
Yes, you didn't have to go rescue him anytime, did you? I mean,
no.
He rescued a lot of folks, buddy, in his tenure over there. Of course, we've got a lot of great memories from that area. I know Dave Harbin, and I don't know if you have a chance to meet Dave from the Savannah. Of course, your tourism people have been wonderful on this, and I've been involved in that tournament for so many years. When Bill Bellis, I could go back in the history books, Timbo, and been over there when Mr. Bellis and the Botel and all things like that. But I think having Darrell involved in this has pushed you over the top, and he's really involved, isn't he, Timbo? I mean,
he is. He's a big part of our community here through the Darrell Worley Foundation, also the Darrell Worley Cancer Center at the hospital. So, bringing cancer treatment to people within driving distance of that. That was all great things that Darrell's done.
Well, as a cancer survivor, I appreciate that because he has done that, and Mr. Smith has done with family members with cancer, and Darrell's foundation has been great. But I got to ask you, okay, I don't know how many people ask you about your first name, Timbo. I mean, I don't want to intrude, but I don't think we've ever had a Timbo on Outdoors with Larry Ray in 24 years. So,
it's okay. I can thank hometown for that. My first name is actually Timothy.
Tennessee or Timothy?
Timothy.
Okay.
I was given the Timbo nickname back when I was a kid, and it's one of those nicknames that you're never going to grow out of. If somebody said Tim or Timothy, nobody would know who they were talking about. But fortunately for me, when you say Timbo, everybody knows who.
Everybody knows Timbo White.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Well, we appreciate you, and we would like to maybe Timbo get you, or maybe Darrell or somebody back on later in early September or something. Before the big event for Riverfest, and we'll like to help you out over here and get some folks. Folks, it's an easy drive to Savannah. This is a big event, and then come back in October. Or October is a great time to be on the Tennessee River. They got a lot of. So I guess, can people go someplace, Timbo, and get more information?
Certainly. Information is available at our Hardin County CVB. Our tourism office here, which is inside the Tennessee River Museum.
That's a wonderful
place.
You
can grab information, Savannah City Hall and SavannahRiverFest.com.
All right, buddy. That's great. Timbo, thank you. And I'll always call you Timbo then, if that's okay. Tell everybody hello from us from Outdoors with Larry Ray, all the good folks over there, and we'll be talking to you again. Have a great weekend, okay, buddy? All right?
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. Timbo White. And I know, Gene, you just been biting at the bullet to do before we get into small talk, coming up on next segment with Gene and Dave. How about a pun? I need a pun right now, Gene.
Okay. The teacher asked Johnny, how come you didn't do your homework? He said, I ain't got no pencils. She said, what do you mean? He said, I ain't got no pencil. He said, no. Johnny don't have any pencils. Susie doesn't have any pencils. And I don't have any pencils. He said, well, where's all the pencils?
Oh, you even got Shelby. She don't even have the microphone. She don't even have any headsets on, but she listened to that, though. So, but anyway, Gene Smith is our pun master. He's known as that, and we want to wish a lot of you folks out there a great weekend. It's hot. Be careful this weekend. The heat, I think we'll get a little break on that. But, Gene, I know Riverfest and those things like that, but when we come back after this break, we want to make sure that you stick around because it's going to be small talk with Gene, Dave, and Larry. And we go back a long time, and no telling what we might say in this next segment. But I know one thing.
A lot of memories.
Well, I don't know, Gene. We got a lot of memories, just can't remember them. I mean,
Not true.
I can't remember last week, but I can remember this 20 years ago when you and I and Ronnie Shannon were down in the dungeon at 1960 Union Avenue on Saturday morning in the dark, and
right.
And we would have to go through the gate, and we'd go eat afterwards at Perkins, and you said you saw Ronnie the other day.
I saw him at Sam's. Yeah,
we need to get Ronnie to call in on that anniversary show. Yeah, because that's Ronnie Shannon played an important part in the start of this show, which we really wasn't sure. You know, Ron Martin said, you can do this show. And I said, Ron, I don't know if we can or not, but we've done it for this long. Shelby has been taking care of us for a number of years. It's not easy to put up with me, and it's not easy to put up with Gene and me. And it's sure not easy to put up with Gene, Dave, and me.
You got a handful.
We're a handful. But
that's right.
Hunter Education's going on now. Do you know? They need to be getting something.
Yeah, there's a couple on the website.
Go to the website. Yeah, tnwildlife.org. Make sure you go on that website because you got to have ready. The new hunting guide's out, Gene. I got mine in the mail. It's more like a magazine now. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's a lot of changes, folks. You need to get ready for that. Let's take our next break. Come right back. Small talk with Gene, Dave, and Larry on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I don't know how many times I've said that over these almost 24 years, but I kind of put this segment together and called it Small Talk with Gene Smith, Dave Gabbert, and me, as we talk in this segment before we close out the show later on with a report from the White River with Jake Hanson of Gaston's White River Resort. But Dave is up in Sparta, Illinois at the Grand American Trap Shooting Championship, something like that. I guess that's pretty close. And he's been
the World Trap Shooting.
And he's been doing this since the late 80s. And before we get another pun from Gene and maybe some reminiscing here, give our listeners out there a little kind of a synopsis of what goes on during these 2 weeks that you're up there.
Well, it's kind of the mecca, anything to do with shotguns.
All right.
If you need a shotgun worked on, if you want to buy, looking at shotguns, all the shooting equipment and stuff like that, it's up here for the, for the more or less 11 days, really for a couple of weeks because.
Couple of weeks, yeah.
I came up last Monday and the kids were just finishing up, the American Trap Shooting Association. They have a youth program. They call it the AIM.
I had some friends of mine's grandsons were there competing in that.
Stands for Academics, Integrity, and Marksmanship.
Wow.
So there was several thousand kids last weekend up here, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. You have couple of thousand kids, well, go ahead and multiply that times 6. you know, when it comes to the youth shooters, because mama and daddy and brother and sister, granddaddy and
yeah,
all descend on this. So it's a big economic impact for the area up here.
It's got to be, yeah.
And but now this week, you know, when the main events start, you know, there's shooters up here. That's why they call it the world. You know, I've shot with a lot of shooters from Argentina's up here shooting. Australia.
Really?
I shot with some South Africans the other day.
Wow.
And it's just neat to be able to meet people from other countries and, you know, and get a flavor of what it's like, you know, back in their hometown.
Right, yeah.
And
but it's also, you said it's like 3.5 miles long. How long is that shooting range? I mean,
the trap fields is total of 27 trap fields.
Yeah.
Banks. We call them banks. There's 4 fields to a bank.
Okay.
So if you can start on the west end and start walking east, you're going to go over 3.5 miles.
Amazing.
And that's what we used to kid. If you was on one of the far fields down there, like bank number 25 or 26, and you got hungry, it was quicker to run into town because it's only 3 miles to town to get you something to eat than run up to the clubhouse. You know?
My goodness! Yeah, yeah. With all those things, and of course you got your equipment. And are you out in the sun? I mean, is this all open?
Oh yeah, you're out in the sun. You know, it's they start shooting up here at 9 o'clock every morning.
Okay.
And on the preliminary days, there's 3 events that you're going to shoot. The first one we call singles. You know, and that's shot from the 16-yard line. You're 16 yards off the machine.
Okay.
And then the next event is, we call it handicap. And you can be, depending on what your average is, you can be as far back as 27 yards off the machine.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the third event is doubles.
And that's
doubles. They're shooting those from the 16-yard line, but you're shooting at 2 targets launched at the same time. So
how many shells will you shoot in 2 weeks? Or do you want to know?
Let's see. Shooting a couple of thousand.
A couple of thousand.
If you shoot all the preliminary events that started last Wednesday and goes through Sunday, you'll shoot about 2,000 shells.
Wow.
And then for the championship week, you'll shoot another, 5,000.
Oh, man.
Probably another 1,400 shells.
My goodness. And you got 3 shotguns up there. So what kind of shotguns are we talking about? These are 12 gauges, or what are these?
12 gauge, you know, just 12 gauge shotguns. They're target guns, trap guns. They're built specifically to, to shoot trap.
Don't they get heavy? Don't they get heavy after a while? I mean, to shoot that in your shoulder.
Well, that's just something you condition yourself for, because each event's 100 targets. Well, if your gun weighs 7 pounds and you walk out there and you're going to lift that gun 7 times over the course of about an hour, you've curled 700 pounds.
That's right. Yeah. All right.
And
so we're listening again to Dave Gabbert describing what it's like to be at the World Grand Trap Shooting Championships in Sparta, Illinois, which is not that big a town. I'm imagining that the population probably doubles or triples.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just those people, if you're lucky enough, there's a couple of thousand camping spots out here.
And that's what you do, don't you? You take your camper, right?
Yeah, I camp. I've had a camping spot for, a decade or more.
Yeah.
And, but people that's coming in that, looking for, hotel space.
Yeah.
That's one of the drawbacks because the area really is not caught up. It's located maybe 50 miles south.
St. Louis, you said a little bit.
East of St. Louis, and there's people that stay all the way to St. Louis and drive down every day.
And this facility, is it used all year long, or is it just used for this time?
It's certain certain part of it is used year round. You know, they have that certain number of fields. Of course, they don't open the whole complex. You know, there's 1 or 2 big trap shoots a year that they'll have it. But also up here on another part of the complex, they have, you know, they do a lot of pistol shooting up here. They have a couple of cowboy villages. They have a couple of sporting play layouts and stuff. And
it just sounds like a deal. Gene, you going to ask him any questions? What do you want to? What do you want?
What's that shot you use?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You're limited to 7.5, 8, and 9.
Okay.
Most people shoot. If you took a survey, everybody's shooting number 8 shot.
Okay. Are these a single shot shotguns, or what are these?
Depends on what you want. Of course, you can't. You know, a lot of them shoot for the doubles. You know, have to have an over and under because you got to shoot twice.
That's right.
You know, there's a lot of people shoot auto loaders.
Okay.
You know, that's
well, I can just imagine what it's like. So tell our listeners as they listen to Dave Gabbert describe what it's like to be at the World Grand Trap Shooting Championship in Sparta, Illinois. Why do you do this, Dave?
I guess I'm just crazy.
I didn't.
He likes competition.
I'm sure your wife may say that, but I mean, this is something.
I just like to shoot. I've grown up shooting. I've been shooting probably since I was 5 or 6 years old. You know.
Yeah.
You know, started off, you know, just shooting, you know, rifle. I can think of when I was growing up and when all my father's family got together, like up at my grandparents' farm and stuff, and everybody, it didn't take long for somebody to break out a .22 rifle and tack bottle caps up on the wood pile, and we was driving nails, see who could drive the nails through the bottle caps.
Well, you know, one of the fastest growing sports is the high school kids, the young kids now. I mean,
believe it or not, one of the states that has the largest high school program in the country is Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay.
Minnesota has like over 25,000, we're talking 25,000 high school participants that shoot trap.
Wow. Well, it's just an amazing event, and we wanted to give Dave some time to tell us about it because it's one of the highlights. It's going on to the Olympics now too, and it's almost,
the Olympics over there. It's,
we got a lot of things going on with the Olympics. This is
shooting is one of the oldest Olympic sports.
It is,
you know?
and so these guys and you have a lot of stuff, but as we listen to this, I know I want to thank both of you guys for being a part of this show for so long, and I know Gene goes back to when it started. Dave was right along, not too far after that. We got a couple of minutes. How about another pun, Gene? You got another one? You think another one?
Oh yeah, I went to the doctor the other day.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite agree what he said.
What did he say?
About this and that and other.
Yeah.
So I asked him. I said, "Can I get a second opinion?" He said, "Can you come back tomorrow?"
That sounds like a Rodney Dangerfield there. That sounds like something.
I get no respect.
Get no respect or anything like that. But anyway, I want to thank you two guys. First and fifth Saturdays, when we have 5 Saturdays, we get Dave and Gene. And
August has got 5 Saturdays.
Yeah, it does. And then, but we're going to try to get y'all on for a few minutes here in the 3rd Saturday, because that will be the 24th anniversary, and we'll celebrate that. Frank and John will be in the studio, I hope, for that, with Shelby taking care of us with her trumpet. I think we're the only radio show's got a trumpeter, if that's such a word. I guess that's a word, Shelby, trumpeter? Okay, she said it's a word. All right, let's take a break. Wrap this baby up today with Jake Hanson, Gaston's White River Resort on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out today's show. One time I said we closed out the show and everybody thought we were quitting. We are not quitting till the Lord tells me to quit, okay? 24 years in 2 weeks. And this next guest works for a place that is extra special to my family, has been for years. I just told Jake Hanson, he is the GM at Gaston's White River Resort. And when we started this show, Gene Smith, 24 years ago in August, Mr. Jim Gaston was one of our first guests.
Yes, he was.
Yes. And so, Jake, when you hear that, you know the legacy of where you work, don't you, Jake?
I absolutely do. It's an awesome one.
It is. And I know you guys, this time of the year, we're in the 1st of August here. It's burning hot. But I got to tell folks, how cool is that river, Jake?
Hey, buddy, it averages from 52 to 54 degrees up where we are.
That's right.
It'll take your breath away if you jump in.
Or if you put your toe in, too, Jake. I mean, if you're hot and you want to get some refreshment, just reach out and throw that stuff in your face. And I'm sure this is fog time, too, right, Jake, in the mornings? I mean, are we getting some fog?
Yes, sir. It creeps up just a little bit later in the morning now, but it's there. Absolutely. It looks like a whiteout about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, on my wall in my office, I have the photograph that I won in 1980. See, when was that? 1989 that I won Outdoor Photograph of the Year for the whole United States with a picture from Gaston's on the White River. With 3 guys in a boat, I took the picture, and you could turn it either way you wanted to, upside down, and the reflection looked the same. And I took that picture with a little small camera, and I want you to know I had so many offers to do seminars and things that I said I was at the right place at the right time. And it may be on the wall there. It wasn't one time, but you guys, it's just a treasure that you folks do, and Clint and all the family. But let's talk about fishing in August. It is hot, Jake. You mentioned that. So talk about what's going on water-wise on the White River.
Well, water-wise, they've been starting off with minimum flow in the morning, so it's been just very little water till about lunchtime.
Okay.
And the fly fishermen have been very happy about that until lunch. Then they'll start creeping it up, and by about 2 o'clock, they'll usually have about 5 generators running, and now the spin fishermen get happy with that. So right now, everybody's happy.
Well, and this time of the year, can we still catch some good-sized fish, Jake?
Absolutely, they're out there. You just gotta, like I said, in that lower water, you gotta find those deeper pockets where those fish are hanging out. And,
yeah.
And then when the water jumps up, you gotta find a little bit slower water closer to the bank.
And we need to advise people here. We're going to get the information from Jake in a little while here about how to get to Gaston's and all that kind of stuff. But I highly recommend, if you've never been on the White and you're going to Gaston's, get a guide. You guys have some of the best guides. Talk about that experience, Jake. Don't you recommend that?
Absolutely, just for the reason that we just talked about, the water conditions.
Yeah.
A lot of people know how to fish, so that's no question. But not everybody knows how to handle a boat in all water conditions, whether it's low water, high water, or in between.
Yeah.
The guide takes that aspect out of it, and then he just makes your day that much less stressful.
And you've got some guides that have been there a while, so I mean.
Absolutely.
That's. What?
Back in the day, they used to do these trips. They'd, everybody would load in these boats and they'd float downriver and they'd take out about Cotter. They didn't have a motor on the boat.
That's
and
right.
They'd trailer these boats back, and then they had a rail system, and they ramped these boats back into the river off these rails.
Yes.
There is one guy left fishing for us that experienced that. He's one of the last ones that took that ride.
I've been there, done that, buddy. It's a long day too. I mean,
it can be.
It can be, but so what are we using now? What's typical bait now? Are we any browns coming in, or what are they using primarily?
Yeah, right now the spin guys are still throwing a combination of sculpins and shad,
yes.
and they're still having a lot of success. Later in the evenings, you can throw on some bigger stick baits and slow roll those guys in and have just as much success.
And you mentioned a word there that somebody might say. Did he say sculpin? Tell our listeners what a sculpin is. I can tell it, but Jake, what is a sculpin?
Oh, that is the hardest thing to describe. It looks like a more aggressive tagpole.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But they hide around big boulder rocks, and that's usually where the guys will catch them. They'll just throw a little tiny hook with the smallest piece of worm that you can muster to get on there, and you just snatch them out, and those browns love them.
And these guys, folks, take care of you. I know that. You just got to go along for the ride. I know that every time I've been, I know who's the better fisherman in my family, and that's my wife. And they always tell me that, too.
That's just typically because the prettiest one on the boat catches.
Well, they listen, Jake. They know how to listen better than me. But you got some other amenities up there, Jake. Other things to do besides fish. You got your restaurant, and I'm assuming the hours on the restaurant, are they still ongoing for August?
Oh yeah, the restaurant's open from 6:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock during the week, 9 p.m. During the weekends. Absolutely. Chef Rick's dinner specials start on Thursday nights and go through Saturday night, and buddy, he knocks it out of the park.
He knows how to knock it. Chef Rick has been there and knows how to cook it. If you haven't eaten over the White River on that restaurant that Mr. Jim and all the Gastons have done, all the souvenirs on the walls and everything like that. So tell our listeners, Jake, how they can get more information about coming to Gastons.
Yeah, just get online. We have all kinds of pictures and descriptions of our cottages on there. Then give us a call. Our number is 870-431-5202. And then we'd be happy to talk about your options and availabilities.
That's it, buddy. Go ahead and get signed up, folks. It's going to be fall before you know it. And that's a great time to be up there. Jake, thank you, buddy. Tell everybody hello for us. And we'll talk to you next month. Okay, man?
All right. Thanks, Larry. Look forward to it.
Thanks, Jake. All right, Jake Hanson. All right, one of my favorite places to go, Gene, is when the water is 50 degrees and you put your toe in it, and it's 96 outside.
My sister and her husband have been there a couple times.
I thought they had, yeah. Well, folks, it's about a 5-hour drive, maybe a little shorter, right across the top of Arkansas, into Gaston's there in Lakeview, right in the Bull Shoals area. And they've got so many cottages and cabins and a swimming pool.
We have the airstrip.
You have the airstrip. Right, so you need an airplane to do that. But if you don't have that, you can just run out there on the strip. Don't strip on the airstrip, okay? But it's one of those times. So, all right, Gene, I need another pun before we get out of here.
Well, we had a kind of an accident last week, and my neighbor, his wife had a couple of poodles, and he was out there weed eating.
Yeah.
And he'd cut one little dog's tail off.
Oh, no.
And she said, well, what in the world are we going to do? I said, well, we're running him to Walmart. She said, Walmart? I said, yeah, that's the largest retail store around here.
Retail store. Oh, Shelby, you missed that one. Poodle lost his tail, and they said, send him to Walmart because that's the biggest retail store around here. Oh, that's one of your best, Gene. I got to remember that one. I'll forget it by tomorrow, but I got to remember it right now. Let me tell you about next week's show because it's a winner next week. We try to give you full guest on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Particularly listen to us right here on AM 790, 92.9 HD, FM on Saturday mornings from 9 to 10:30. Next week, the Legend of the Outdoors preview show, featuring Legend of the Outdoor founder, Gary Mason. He will be co-hosting that with our one and only Ron Wong, who's the official photographer for the Legend of the Outdoors, which is coming up on August the 17th in Springfield at the Johnny and Jenny Morris Convention Center. If you have not got your tickets, they are almost gone. I know me and my wife Miriam will be up there, but we're going to have some of those special guests on next week's show, including 2024 inductees. How about Bill Jordan of Realtree? And Bill, we're going to get Bill on with his son Tyler. They were on a couple of years ago, and we were overwhelmed with people to listen to Bill and Tyler talk about it. Bobby Hart is going to be on. Will Primos. How about Will Primos? Right. Will is in Montana, I understand, but he's going to be on next week's show. He is going in this year to the Hall of Fame. And, of course, the Hall of Fame spokesman and one of our favorite people is Cuz Strickland. And we'll get Cuz on there next week also. But And then we'll be reporting after the Hall of Fame, but go to Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame, or just Google Gary Mason, GARRYMASON. See if there's any tickets left. It'll be a sellout. It'll be on August the 17th, start about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a luncheon special, and you will see some of the most famous outdoors people in the world. You might even see me, and I'm not in that group, but I am a class of 2020, Legends of the Outdoor Hall of Fame, so I do that. So, Gene, you got any tips on how to deal with this heat? What will you say to people that want to go to Shelby Forest now?
Well, I had a lady call me the other day. They was at Shelby Forest eating a good old big hamburger. They got big hamburgers there.
Yes.
But you could get deep in the woods and you get a breeze through those trees. It's nice and cool.
And go to the Shelby Forest store, right? I mean,
and go to the Shelby Forest store. I usually go to Jack's in the morning, and I go to the Shelby Forest store and get a wrap.
Yep. Yeah. You might see Gene Smith out there. He's got his cronies. Right. His cronies at Jack's. Hey, I went to Jack's here. I'm gonna throw in a plug for Jack's. I wish they get. Once you get them to be a show sponsor, they make the best biscuits, Gene. Some lady named Martha and Mary. You can see them making the biscuits right there in front of you. And
yes, sir.
I'm giving you the assignment.
All about the South.
I'm giving you the assignment, Gene. We need them as a sponsor, okay? If you would like if you would like to be a sponsor of Outdoors with Larry Ray, just send me an email, lroutdoors@att.net. Shelby McCall, thank you for doing what you do. Gene Smith, thank you, buddy, for being a friend for so many years and everything.
Yes,
and
sir.
You know how we end this. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. What else, Gene?
God bless the USA.